Okay, so round two of the strikes begin today. The workers are complaining of low wages and poor working conditions. Have they got an argument?
I think we should distinguish between real wages and minimum wages. The minimum wages are determined by a sectoral determination. That is a ministerial process. The Department of Labour consult and the Conditions Commission then advises the minister about it, and eventually she decides. That is done on a 3-year basis and revised in the interim annually. It was done last year, and the inputs were also solicited from Labour and business and government as such. Now, the strikes led to a situation where the minister decided to review that process again, and we're fully cooperating with it. And we also made use of academic research and input to see what is achievable. Now, what is required from Agri-SA from the Labour side is that we, in the interim, agree to a minimum wage. Now, what we can do in practice is to urge and motivate our farmers to negotiate on farm level on actual wages. And actual wages in agriculture is much higher than the minimum wage that is actually meant to protect new entrants into agriculture and the lowest level of skilled workers as well. Now, that process will only be completed by March and April.
All right, so what you're saying is that, are you saying that the workers are jumping the gun, as it were? And I'm wondering, what is the gap between what they want and what you're saying that this negotiated wage could be? Yeah,
the demand is currently 150. The analysis indicated, and the analysis was done by the Bureau for Food and Agricultural Policy. It's a virtual institute between University of Pretoria and Stellenbosch, making use of the best industry information. Indicates that if we raise the minimum wage by, say, 20 Rand a day, it also elevates other wages in agriculture substantially. And in most cases, if we reach a level of 100 or 104, a minimum wage per day, most of the sectors will move into a negative net farm income situation. So I think it is a comprehensive challenge to agriculture to accommodate higher wages, and it will inevitably lead to layoffs in agriculture, more mechanization, more concentration on farm level. And unfortunately, it will make it much more difficult for smaller and less capital sort of empowered people to enter the sector. So we need actually a policy paradigm to make it possible for agriculture to extensify and move into areas which is undeveloped to absorb labor. Currently, just high wages alone can be very detrimental to the sector and workers as such.
What you're saying to me sounds like a reasonable argument, and the question might be then, are the unions and are the workers aware of what you're saying and what this research is saying?
Well, we have shared the information with them. We, at the early stage, involved them into the frameworks and the methodologies that should be applied. But I think the expectations were raised to a level that it is basically in their hands to manage it as well. I think what is required really is a much more comprehensive approach to deal with a multitude of problems, because a seasonable worker, usually, a temporary worker usually may receive the minimum wage, and in actual fact, research indicated that level of remuneration is something between 84 and 85 Rand. But if you only work for 3 or 4 months a year, for sure you will live in poverty for the rest of the year. So it is basically a question to create quality jobs that is affordable to the industry as well. And then you must grow the industry, not increase the factor cost of labor only. Then it will inevitably lead to structural adjustments that can be detrimental to the workers as well.
All right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I'm sure we'll probably have another conversation in the coming days, especially if the strike does go ahead. Mr. van der Merwe, thank you very much indeed for your time, sir.
Thank you.
All right. That was Hans van der Merwe from Agri-SA stating the case for commercial farmers and the challenges they're facing. Quick look